Welcome to the workshops of Wendell August. What you're about to see is the second part of our hand hammering process. You know, every piece that we make in our workshop is made one at a time by hand. And our technique of hand hammering is a three-step process. This is our second step. We call this anviling and flattening. Here's an old school anvil. You don't see many of these around, but what Cory is doing right now is adding the hammer marks around the perimeter of this piece. We have hammer marks over our entire pieces, and so what Cory is doing is adding the anvil marks and the hammer marks around the perimeter of this piece. But you can see as he's hammering, and as it came off the first step of the hand hammering process in the hammer room, that this piece of aluminum is kinked up. It's bowed, it's not flat, and to continue through our entire process, it has to be made completely flat. So this second step of the process, again using the old school technique and tools of a ball peen hammer and an anvil, is adding the hammer marks around the perimeter of the design. So everything is completely covered. And again, as you see this being done, imagine this being done for every piece coming out of our workshop. Every piece having this anvil marks around everything we do. You know, we say that we're handmade in America, one at a time. Like snowflakes, never any two pieces will be alike. But it's reality. You know, Cory will never be able to hit these hammer marks exactly alike on any piece he makes. He'll never be able to do this exactly the same. So this piece that he's made is truly one of a kind. And every piece we make is one of a kind. So you can see there, as you look at the metal, how it is all kinked up and how it is all bowed. He's going to take it to the second step in the process here in just a second, which is the flattening step. I love hearing that ball peen hammer on the metal, on the anvil. I mean, this is old school. This is old world. We're really a throwback in craftsmanship, and we really see, you know, that our responsibility is to uphold the tradition of American craftsmanship. But now as it's kinked up, he's got to take it to the flattening table. And so he moves to the flattening table and he changes his hammer. And what you see here is a steel table with a leather topping to it, a very small leather topping to it. And then that's a nylon little form that he uses, but he's beginning to hammer it out. And you see how he stretches the metal. As a skilled artisan, he knows exactly the way he needs to move the metal. And he is stretching this metal out. He's pushing it to the perimeter and flattening it so it can be used as functional art. This is going to be a luncheon tray, if you can believe that. But this is the process it goes through. And you can see even now how he's already flattened it quite a bit and made it almost flat. Well, now he's bowing it up a little bit again. But again, this is the beauty of Wendell August, one at a time by hand. Each piece. So now he goes on the front of the design. And I've got a funny story for you. You know, I was taking a bunch of Boy Scouts around one time. Actually, they were Cub Scouts, a little bit younger. And he started beating on this. And one of the scouts said, "Hey, stop, stop." And I looked up and I said, "Why would you want him to stop?" And they said, "Well, he's ruining that design." And it's funny, again, this is something that we had to develop here. But the reason that's not ruining the front as he's hammering that design and the design stays intact is that mallet he's using has a nylon hammer head. And again, that form he's hammering that on is nylon. And so all the blow, all the force of the blow is being absorbed by the nylon in the form that he's working on and the hammer. But you can see that he's just about done. And the final step of the flattening process is right here. As he hammers it out and as it's completely flat and readied for the next step of our process, which is cutting it to shape. You know, I marvel every time I see this being done, that we still are doing things the way Americans have done it for years, and our craftsmanship can compete with anything the world over. And there you see the flat piece that Cory has just done. Experience Wendell August, made in America by guys like Cory for life's special moments.